The sunnah system of jahiz or mahar in marriage. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is like a really needs like a long details, because let's go back to the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. When the Sahaba wanted to marry any Sahabiya, even some of the Sahaba doesn't have anything to give as a mahar, even it's a money or whatever. But then the Prophet ﷺ said, okay, do you know any verses of the Qur'an? And the Sahaba said, yes, I memorized something. Okay, you make your wife memorize these verses, this will be your mahar. And there's several examples of that. In countries like in India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, and also in Arab countries, or I'm sure it's almost like even it's a Muslim or it's a non-Muslim, it's like a really something like a really disgusting, that many daughters are being killed, and many women are being burned because of the dowry system and all that. But anyway, that's like a different topic, so I'm not going to come back to how is the mahar in Islam. The man has to pay for the woman. There's an extremely misconception about in southeastern countries. They made the word mahar as a business. Like for example, if a man wants to marry a girl, either the girl or her parents, they demand the husband to put this much amount on the mahar. So now this becomes as a business. So what happens that when they get their mahar and when they get their money, when they get their jewelry, so they set up the whole plan to file the hula certificate that the husband is being abusive and all that, just to get rid of all that and just to eat all the money they get it from the mahar. So this becomes as like a really business. The way it should be, that the marriage has to be on a base of Quran and the pure Sunnah, which is something like to make as simplest as possible. Because what happened, this is really a terrible, and this is something like a very distressing situations in those countries when when the men's side are being cheated, and also on the girls side are being cheated. But on the girl side, they come up with a plan of getting more money from the groom in the name of mahar. But first of all, let's understand, why do you get married? Do you get married because of you want the mahar, you want the money, you want the jewelry, that's why you're getting married? Now let me tell in a very simple word. Those who have a fear of Allah, those who really love the Sunnah of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, they do not care about these things, but rather make your nikah easy and make the zina more harder. And how do you make it easy in the nikah? To make things easy for men and for the girl side. So just do a simple nikah, whatever is possible. So for an example, I was like watching YouTube, and I came across like a few videos, like how is the mahar working in other cultures, like in Islamic countries, but in other cultures. And I have seen like so many things, like the girl has demanded the mahar to a husband on the day of wedding to recite the Holy Quran. And another videos I have gone through is some of the brides has demanded the groom to help them memorize the Quran. Now these are the couples who are being very blessed in the eyes of Allah. But when you come up, okay, how much you will pay, and okay, what happens, like the when girl demanded the man for a mahar, and on the same thing happens on the men's side, then the men will be expecting from the girl side what they are giving in a dowry and the jahiz, and how much they're giving. So that's why if you mostly look into these people's life, their life is not peaceful. because later on they have a lot of conflicts and they come together, and the both families are fighting together, and they are fighting for the meher, and on the men's side they are fighting for the jahez and the dowry, and the girls fighting for the meher. So why would we just like get rid of these things and just simple make the nikah as simple as possible, based on the Quran, based on a sunnah, which is very simple. And I have seen many people in, mostly in India, the girl demands a very high meher. Similarly, on the boy side, they expect to be getting a lot of jahez in the money and the jewelry, which has so many lives are being destroyed just because on this groom and the bride conflicts between them. So because who does that? Their parents does that. So basically the marriage has to be, make it very simple, and whatever the man paying, the girl has to accept it from her heart. It is not something like pressing her. And similarly, whatever the girl is getting a gift is from her parents and going to the groom's house, the groom has to be very happy in anything and just accept them as a husband and a wife and love each other, respect each other. That type of a particular people whose life is being in a peaceful. So rather than fighting on the, because what happens like when the girl gives the jahez and the dowry to the man, and the man gives a big meher to the girl, so what happened later in their life, they are fighting on these particular points, and they're fighting and telling to each other, you give us this and you give us that, and you did not give us this and you did not give us these things are really disturbing a life. So how about we just like get rid of this financial things and making how much she paid, how much she paid, and how much he paid, so making the life more complicated, and their life is being not being peaceful. Because what happens like in this type of people's life, if you see the couples, they always have problems in their family issues and things like that. And what was the root cause of that? Just because the marriage was not based on something like a simple Quran and simple Sunnah.